It's been called America's forgotten war.
But there are many in the Tennessee Valley who fought in the Korean War, something they will never forget. Tonight in The Price of Freedom, Josh Rowe has the story of one of those heroes. Josh.
Kim and Calvin, Ancel Freeman grew up in Alabama and fought in the Korean War from 1951 to 1953.
That's you?
Yeah, that's it.
What year would that be?
The year I went in.
Ancel Freeman is now 82 years old. 63 years ago, he was in basic training at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah, that was the barracks. I lived in there.
When I first met him, he was just out of the military, and he did not want to discuss his story. And over the years, I began to hear the little bits and pieces.
Among those bits and pieces, 6 surveillance missions searching for targets over North Korea.
Next thing they knew, they were over the 38th parallel, taking photographs.
One mission, their plane was hit and forced to crash land. One of Ancel's fellow airmen was shot and killed. The plane broke apart when it landed.
Actually, he spent the first night in the tail of that plane that had ripped apart. He was there with his fellow airman that was killed.
Ancel's wife, Euna, put together a book of photos to help tell Ancel's Korean War story to family and friends.
That's a couple of my buddies.
It took years for Ancel to tell his stories of what happened more than 60 years ago.
This is me and Smitty right here.
He tells a little more of them now, but even though he didn't say much through all those years, it was very clear the amount of pride he had about his service and his respect for others who served.
The price of freedom is not free. That was one of the things I noticed about him. He always wanted to salute and acknowledge veterans, because he had an understanding of what the war has done and what the veterans have done for our country.
The Freemans moved to Rossville, Georgia in 1964. They've lived there ever since. Kim.
Josh, thanks so much for that. Great story.